It's never too late to return back to yourself. This video is about how to find your way back to peace and purpose in your life. I was at a point last year, around this time last year, where I felt so aligned. I felt like every day I woke up was a day worth living. I would wake up in the morning and do what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, and I'll go to sleep at peace with this lethargic exhaustion that I used my life force to create the life that I wanted for myself. I was doing the things that felt in alignment with the purpose of my existence on this planet. And then one day I just stopped. I became so afraid of how quickly everything was changing that I went back into another cycle of self-sabotage. But this time it looked very different. Most of the time when I self-sabotaged in the past, it just looked like a rut where I wasn't really doing anything with my time. It was just consistent days of monotony and consumption and doing nothing that added any value to my life. But this time was different. This time I found a job. It was an incredible opportunity. So I devoted my life to that job. I was working like 72 hours a week, yet I had never felt more empty. I told myself that because I am working towards something, then my life would get me. At some point, I will get to the place where I wanted to get to. That was so ridiculous because I know that in order to live the life you want, you have to live a microcosm of that life every single day. But my day consisted of waking up at like 11, going to work, coming back at like 11, going to sleep and doing it all again. At some point, I began to resent and hate that job so much. I fell ill, like my body physically couldn't handle it anymore. And I was sick for like a week straight. I couldn't even get out of bed. And I quit that job. It was just in time anyway, because a week from then, moving to America to work in the summer camp for like 3 months, which is exactly what I did. I thought that I could escape from the work that I knew I needed to do to live the life that I wanted for myself by doing other work. Doing other work that there was less friction in doing it, but the reason why there was less fear was because I couldn't give a damn about it. It wasn't what I knew I was meant to be doing, so it was easier for me to do. Throughout this whole experience, I knew I want to create, I want to make videos. I don't want to work for someone else's dream. I thought that I could escape that knowing by working, by traveling. But the whole time I was consumed by this thought. And as a result, I was living so out of alignment and so inauthentically that even when I look on that version a couple weeks or even just a month ago when I was still in America, I cringe. I cringe so hard because I can see a version of myself who was so far away from who I knew I was supposed to be, how I knew I was supposed to be acting. But in that knowing, there was this shame and embarrassment of like, I've been gone for too long. How do I even get back to myself? In this video, I'm going to help you find your way back to yourself, find your way to your true purpose, your true calling, so that you can wake up every day and feel peace and alignment and love the process of getting where you want to go. Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Ola here and I help you align with your purpose. Do you know this isn't even connected? And I help you align with your purpose, so subscribe because you deserve every single thing you desire. How do you get back to yourself? I'm not a perfect person. Every single video I make is a message to a younger version of myself. One thing I did when I was stuck in this cage was watch my old videos. So I'm making this as a message to what I needed to hear literally a couple weeks ago. I don't think I'm perfect, but I think I'm definitely in a space now where my awareness has turned into understanding, and then I'm bridging the gap between understanding and taking action. so I can have that life of peace and purpose that I know it's attainable because I've felt it before. The alignment of doing what I need to do to get where I need to go. I would ruminate on it. I would think about it. I would daydream about it obsessively. Not even the end result of the life, but the satisfaction I got from doing the process. The satisfaction I get from sitting down here and talking to a camera. The satisfaction I got from getting up and going and doing some exercise and moving my body. The satisfaction I got from reading. The release I got from meditating and journaling. I felt in my mind I was holding on and ruminating on this version of myself that I genuinely knew I could be because I've been it so many times before. But yet again, the idea, the hump, the speed bump of actually thinking and knowing that to returning was so hard. I literally can't be anything apart from who I know I'm meant to be. It's so much worse to live a life out of alignment. And having that brisk contrast from when I was living in alignment to the easier life, how shit I felt a couple weeks ago, it will never be worth it to me ever again in my life to choose a road that I think is easier or safer, because the feeling, that pit in my stomach and in my heart of the emptiness and like life isn't really worth living, or that itch like I need to make something, will never be worth a slight fear or the insecurity of chasing your dreams or of living life in alignment with what you know your life is going to be like. Because you have two options. You can jump and do the thing, the actual thing, the scary thing that you know is going to get you to a point that you love your life, and the process of doing it every day gives you that satisfying feeling in your heart, and overcome the fear every single day like you're beating an addiction. Or you can just live an easy quote-unquote life with a heavy heart. You could go to that job that you hate. You can try and escape yourself, but you can never escape yourself. So I needed to make a choice, and I decided that like there's literally no way I'm going to be that person again. And traveling, that's why I love traveling so much, because in the span of like 3 months, I've been so many different versions of myself, and I've met so many people. They all remind you, the more you meet people, the more you realize that most people live a miserable existence. Most people don't know who they are or what they want. Do I want to live a comfortable, normal life, which in this world means honestly being so miserable and far removed from yourself and your purpose? Or do I want to do something unconventional that means I get to wake up every day and feel love and purpose in my heart? You know what I mean? If not this, then what? Just be miserable for the rest of your life because one time you failed? Like, please, you relapsed, so bloody what? Try again. Like, that's literally the only option in your life. You are you. You can never leave you. The only relationship in your life you can never leave is the one you have with yourself. So what are you gonna do if not pick yourself up and try again to live a happier life? Everything must come to an end. You think, okay, the end of the week, then I get the weekend, the end of the term, then I get the break, the end of the year, then I get the summer. When you don't have anything to break your life up, you realize that life is just this continuous, vast nothingness until you give something meaning, until you find a purpose and chase it. The way you were chasing A's in school, the way you were chasing money at a job. Life means literally nothing. Literally nothing at all. And the only way I can find happiness in this life is to do what I love every single day. just keep planting seeds of the type of life and the type of person I want to be, until one day everything falls apart and then rebuilds my life in a way where everything is mirroring that experience of love and purpose and alignment back to me. Where I'm vibrating on this frequency so frequently that that's the only thing I can attract into my life. Where the structures and the people and the repetition is just a continuous repetition of love and purpose and alignment. That's crazy. If you're young and you're watching this video and you're in school or you're working or you have some apprenticeship, you don't know what I mean. You don't know what it's like to have your life and all your time for yourself. Every single day when you wake up, there is nothing that you have to do. They're just choices that you make. And you realize how every single choice you make compounds. So if you don't take your life by the balls, your life just becomes this emptiness of nothing, consumption of meaninglessness. You have to be so strong to assign a meaning to yourself and work towards it every single day. Most people, I think everyone who goes to uni and gets a job finds an easy way. You don't need to sit down for hours and ask yourself, what's the meaning of life? What's my purpose? You have a degree and a boss to tell you what your life means and what your purpose is. That's why that saying, if you don't wake up every day and work on your dream, you'll be employed to work on someone else's dream. That's literally life. You need to be so violent about finding what you want to do with your time and your life and working towards it. I finished working at a summer camp for 3 months, which was supposed to be this life-altering, amazing experience. And I did not like it because the whole time I was living what someone else said should be what I'm doing. Even though it's a great thing, and people go out of their way and learn so much about themselves. I've been living on my own since I was 16. Moving to a different country and interacting with new people in the new environment is second nature to me. There was nothing truly transformative about that experience. The only thing I truly learned was what I don't want to be doing with my time. It was great. I'm sure it would have been a great experience if I was in a different place. But the place I was at was, I know what I should be doing. I'm not doing it. Hence, I feel empty. Hence, I feel like a version of myself that is so far removed from the alignment I know I could be feeling. Okay, here's how you can finally do it. Number one, an understanding that nothing outside of you can change how you internally feel. There is no job, there is no travel, there is no person, there is no relationship, because we love to do that. When we are too scared to follow our passion, because that creative energy cannot just disappear, we channel it into sexual energy and we try to find ourselves in a relationship to get someone who validates you and makes your experience better. But when you don't have, you cannot have. If you don't have love and a sense of peace and purpose, there is nothing in your life that can come into your life to make you feel that. That's why you find yourself in meaningless, empty, toxic relationships time and time again. You cannot substitute what is meant to be in you, what you're meant to harness and grow and water from within with something outside of you. You know you should be meditating, meditate. You know you should be creating, create. You know you should be moving your body, move. You know you should be getting out of your house and getting off that damn phone. Get off that damn phone. You know it. And your awareness of that thing will never equal to your experience of that thing. Just because you know what you should be doing doesn't excuse you from the work that needs to be done. You still need to do it. How do you start over? Number one priority every single day should be your mindset, should be you. Everything you experience is just what you've been focusing on. Nothing exists until you observe it. The reality you're currently experiencing, the one of pain, even your internal reality, the emotions you have been experiencing on a continuous basis, It's just a condensement of what you've been focusing on. That's why I preach mindset above everything. Once your mind is at peace, once you're saturating your mind with the right things every single day, I mean, listening to whatever it takes, listen to those affirmations, watch those videos in the background while you're doing the work. I don't mean sit all day and consume more. You don't need to consume anything. But your mindset, once you wake up, should be your number one priority. However you get yourself in that place. For me, I journal and I meditate. I start my day off by journaling and meditating because that's how I water the grass that is my mind. Once my mind is in the right place, once I'm focused on the right thing, once I'm focused on my vision, everything else, all those tiny inconveniences of this current life I'm living, they fly off me because I know this is not my true life. My true life is whatever I want it to be. And this is just a condensement of previous versions of myself. Subconscious thoughts day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, creating this reality. And because I know I'm focused on a new life, this is going to fall away soon, period. Make sure what you're doing every day is what you'll be okay doing every day for the rest of your life. If you don't like the process of getting there, you will never get there. And when you do, let's say you do, it will never feel how you think it's gonna feel. When you're working hard towards something and you get there and you're like, oh, is that it? Those stem from the experience of hating the process of getting there. If you can't see yourself doing the thing to get to the goal every single day for the rest of your life, then you're not doing the right thing. Go and find what you actually want to do. If you can't see yourself revising every single day for this 4-year degree, that's not your purpose. There are some people who genuinely wake up and are excited to revise. They're Rory Gilmore. That was her thing. I'm not Rory Gilmore. If you're okay never really getting there, and I mean based on your own care, not what your parents say. Like if your parents left you and they're like, you don't have to get this degree, would you still get the degree? If the answer is yes and you enjoy going to classes, then go get that degree. If not, maybe take time to truly evaluate what you want to do with your life. It's scary, I know. But for me, what's 10 billion times more frightening is living an empty life because someone else said so. Summary, it's never too late to return back to yourself. I met a 50-year-old woman who's going back to uni to get a psychology degree because it took her 50 years to realize that what she was doing was not what she wanted to do. You can do it now or you can do it when you're 50. So decide today to pick up yourself, work towards doing the things you need to do to be in alignment with the type of person you need to be. If you truly want to change, and change for good, and change forever, you should watch my video titled How to Change Permanently, No BS Guide. It'll be linked up and in the description below. So if you learned something from this video, which I'm sure you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'm always open to conversations in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.